Peace, peace, family. So we back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how the only beings that's happy in today's society are the sheep and the sleep. The ones who are not taking the time to become aware or to become informed. And it almost puts a lot of us at a envious state. And I don't mean like envy like, oh, like you hate them. It's kind of like a catch-22 envy, you know. We received all this knowledge and information. We became more aware. We heightened our senses. We understand the truth and the real reality of what should be taking place. But it's like we get stepped and stomped on for becoming more knowledgeable and aware, and the sleep and the sheep are prospering and they are enjoying this way and this walk of life in today's society. I'm seeing more and more people, along with myself, discuss things about how hard work is no longer paying off in today's society. You know, it'll pay off in the long haul because we are spiritual beings, so it'll prepare us for our next chapter and journey when we leave this realm. But as far as what's taking place in today's time, the sleep and the sheep are prospering. It's like that statement when they used to say ignorance is bliss, which I never really enjoyed the statement, because to me, I don't see how being unaware can put you in a blissful state on a higher frequency, but explaining things on a lower level frequency, I can easily see how you being ignorant to the real realm of reality of what's taking place can keep you in a blissful state to the point to where you are, you will not and you won't acknowledge nature's laws, creator's rules and laws, you know, a more righteous path. We have to understand that in today's society, like a lot of these sheep in the sleep, if it wasn't due to this advanced technology that we have in today's society, some of these people, and maybe even some of us, wouldn't even be here to do what we are doing right now. But because technology has advanced so much, you know, you have people who had health issues that normally, if they had these health issues in the past previously, they would just be getting ready to move on to their next journey. But because technology has advanced the way it is, it allowed these people to linger and live here longer. You know, and for some, it has been a huge blessing. This wind has been going crazy all day, so my bad for that. This weather, they calling for more snow again, so we just had a whole thing of snow. It clears up. I'm in Virginia, so as fast as it snows and this whole thing is covered, it clears up right away. But in understanding these things, like, I know it gets tough being in today's society and you are actually moving in a more righteous path and actually doing things differently than what you've done before, and it's almost like you still don't get to reap the fruits of the work that you put in, because by the time the fruits are ready, someone, something, some entity is snatching up the fruit. So now you're just going back through the process all over again. You know, it gets tough waking up every day going through this rat race. We're gonna move this and we're gonna turn this because this wind is going crazy. So we gotta work around it right now. It's either that or we don't film. And we already done took a lot of days off, you know what I mean? So we can't take all the days off. not the way we would like to. You got to pay for taking time off and taking days off. You know, what you don't get done won't get done. What you don't get done won't get done. It's how it's set up right now. And even for some of us who are extremely strong spiritually, who are aware, knowledgeable, you know, talented, all these things combined into one. Courageous, giving, loving. It becomes difficult out here sometimes to want to continue to fight the good fight when you see all of the sheep in the sleep prospering and enjoying life and not taking this spiritual war and this battle that we in serious. It's like, how do you just walk around every day pretending to enjoy life when, you know, it's entities out here that has been working on taking all of us out. We're all in slavery right now, whether people want to admit it or not, but don't pay your bills and see what happens. You know what I mean? It doesn't make you less strong. It doesn't take away your strength when you have these thoughts processing through your inner space about tapping out on this fight and about giving up. We're not talking about moving on to your next journey, like doing something to yourself. We're just speaking as far as not fighting the fight the way that you are choosing to fight it now, because we're all fighting this battle in different ways. For the ones of us that's over on this side of the spectrum that understands what's going on, and we would like a better life for ourselves before we get out of here. And we also know that if we don't get to experience that, we would like the next generation that's coming up after us to have a much better life. But the thing is with that, we don't get peace without war. There is no peace without war. So, and a lot of the sheep in the sleep don't really care to comprehend this, you know. They don't care to process things the way that we do. They don't care to take initiative the same way we do. You know, that's for the sheep in the sleep that's in privileged positions and for the ones that's not in privileged positions. Because we can all be an asset in the middle of this battlefield and this war that we're in right now. It's just that they choose to be a liability during this wartime. I was seeing, I forgot the guy's name, but I was just listening to some content earlier today when I was in the kitchen working, and the guy was mentioning how one of his subscribers asked him, how does he stay so strong in the middle of, you know, this war that we're in right now? And sometimes the simplest things spark something really deep or just strike the match for me, and it could be really basic. You know what I mean? Somebody could be like, oh, the trees are green, and I'd be like, you know what? I would completely analyze it another way, and it would just make so much more sense what I'm trying to process and how that example was used. And I'd be like, damn, that stuck with me, but I had somebody else break down calculus for me in the most lamest terms, and I still didn't, that shit just didn't register to me. But you say something basic like this, and it just sticks. And he was saying how even the strongest warriors want to quit sometimes. And it's funny hearing him say that and then processing how many times I go through that process myself. I could wake up, go through that process. I could go through that process in the middle of the day. I could go through that process at the end of the night. And at the end of the day, I still don't quit. We don't even know how to quit, which is the most confusing and weirdest part of them all. It's like, because it's not like turning the game on and off, you know, TV on and off, you know, It's not like quitting a job. It's not the same process when it comes to actually wanting to quit this battle that we in right now. You know, just not, I don't want to play my part. I don't want to do my role in this battle anymore, you know. But we go through this process. Just because you go through the process of not wanting to fight doesn't mean you're weak. We analyze and we go through a lot of things. You know, we're constantly being attacked. And don't let us make any mistakes, because then it's almost like they double down on us. So now you're getting taxed and surcharged and everything else that comes with it just for making a mistake. Tapped in and was just listening while working. You know, I always got to give credit where it's due. But he had also mentioned like how we are rookies in this game of life. A lot of us are rookies. If you haven't had your parents guiding you, teaching you, showing you the way, you know, if you haven't had your grandparents dropping that knowledge and those jewels down to you, we all just kind of going through life, winging it and figuring it out as we make mistakes, as we get it correct. Make more mistakes, get it correct. And fortunately and unfortunately, time is continuously passing while we are in the process of trying to figure this thing out. We gotta understand that life has been life and long before us. You know what I mean? Long before us. So life already kind of understands what's taking place and what's happening right now way more than we do on a whole nother level. Even with all the research and knowledge and information we came across and all our experiences, we've been able to, you know, compare and contrast. Life is undefeated. I wouldn't, as much as I process wanting to quit and tap out, you know, of the battle, just kind of vominos, disappear, go somewhere else, just start doing some other stuff that doesn't require me to take on so much responsibility. We call it responsibility, but some shit we just forced to do because we're in modern slavery. It's crazy how we'll call that responsibility, but the things that's really our responsibility, we claim or we pretend as if we're not responsible for it. The thing with us over here on this side of the spectrum and how the sheep and the sleep operate over there. See, the sheep and the sleep, they can watch people become bullied in their presence. They can see people get taken advantage of in their presence. They can hear stories about people just being done wrong. It has no effect on them. Flip the coin, our spirit, our playbook that we follow doesn't allow us to process the same way that they process. So it always has some kind of effect or impact on us, and it makes us want to act, you know. Whether you acting rational or whether you're acting irrational, it makes you want to act. This battle that we facing right now, they would be to infinity and beyond with destroying this realm if it wasn't as many of us fighting this battle as it is. See, the thing is with humans, or being in these human forms, I should say, we all interconnected and intertwined, you know, whether we like it or not. And if it was more demonic beings out here than it was righteous people and beings following that playbook, you know what I mean? They would have been done what they had to do, and it would be no more of this realm already. But because there's so many of us that's fighting, it's taking them longer to do the things that they want to do, to be able to poison us, to be able to destroy us, to be able to knock us off our guard, knock us down on the ground, you know, just step and stomp all over us like little doormats. When I leave the house and I'm like out working and running and moving and just doing things, it just be mind-blowing to me how people just go on about their everyday life as if the ship is not sinking, as if the plane is not about to crash. And I could never get myself in that thought, that mind, that ideology process of just being cool with sitting down on the plane as it's getting ready to crash. I'm always thinking, how do I get myself out of this situation? How do I put myself in a better situation? And for a lot of the people who are the sleep and are the sheep, this is not how they process. To them, if it doesn't physically affect them, it doesn't make a difference to them, you know? So they could still be out here going out to the movies, you know, going to parades, going to these sporting events. I had somebody the other day was talking about going to a Rod Wave concert. I'm like, what the, why would I care about that? I've never been to a concert in my life, had no intentions on going to a concert. That's why I never been to one. It's not like it hasn't been enough in my day and age that I couldn't have went, just that I chose not to. Like, I didn't see any value in me going to support another man who's not doing anything to benefit the culture or the system, you know, that we've been fighting. They're actually supporting the system. They're not going against it. So why would I want to spend my slavery dollars on a concert? Because if it wasn't slavery, we wouldn't even be concerned with money. We think about money the way we think about food, the way we think about water, because this is modern slavery. I know a lot of people feel like, oh yeah, well, I get to do what I want. You know, I work a good job, you know, I do these things, yeah. A lot of people got good jobs and that's not what they want to do. You know, they just got a good paying job, but that doesn't mean that that's what they want to do. This is just, you know, some slaves decided to work in the house. Some slaves, like me, decided to work outside in the field. I'm a field nigga on a low vibration. You feel me? I gotta be out in that field. I don't want to be up under master. You know what I mean? And I just say that as a layman's term, fun statement. You know what I mean? I know there was some people out here that was their family and ancestors is connected to the physical slavery. My ancestors was not connected to the physical slavery, you know. And that's another thing that, you know, I realized with the sheep and the sleep. Like, how come y'all never realize why we don't look like Africans and why Africans never came back for us? They can't come back for something that was never theirs to begin with. So if we was never their people, then they would never come back for us. Why you think we don't look alike? Africans come from their, I'm just using the word Africans in Africa because this is the term that was taught to me. I already understand when you're over in that culture, they call each other by, you know, their land spaces or their cultures, wherever they're at, you know what I mean? We outsiders are the ones that call it Africa. And of course, the brainwashed ones over there that believe in this system structure, they call it the same thing too. But either way, neither here nor there, you know, it's just like, you still got some sheep sleep that's talking about reparations. And it's like, bro, you're not getting reprimanded for shit. You gotta fight. That don't even make sense. Like, I've never seen a bully give somebody their items or possessions back because they asked for it a bunch of times. That's not how it works. But you leave it to the sleep and the sheep, this would be their philosophy. It's just not how life works out here. And most of us being in this realm and fighting this battle for so long, understand that life ain't fair. It's really just that simple. Life is not fair. So what you gonna do, argue with life because it's not fair? We know that most women want men that's taller than them. So if you happen to be born short, life just isn't fair, It's no different than people who are born into money or adopted into money and others don't. Life is unfair, and right now, money is what rules. But you have a lot of us on this side of the spectrum that if money wasn't in the equation, our gifts and our talents would trump everything that's going on right now, and we would be at the top of the food chain. But because of the paths we chose, we are at the bottom of the food chain, and the sleeping sheep, they are rising. The dumber you are, the bigger bag you get. The more demonic you are, the bigger bag you get. It's just, the money is a compensation for following their playbook. Money is a compensation for following their playbook. If hard work paid off, none of us would be in these positions that we're in right now. I couldn't emphasize that enough as it is, But just understanding a lot of these things. Like, I remember one day I was out, this probably like a couple years ago, I was filming at another location. And I had just finished filming, and it seemed like a group of old ladies, all Caucasian ladies, not anything wrong with that. And one of them was like curious as into what I was doing. They decided to open up conversation with me. I could see a couple of them had this little weird look in their face, but it was like 2 or 3 of them that was pretty chill, and we had started talking or whatever. They was just asking me some questions. I was giving them some answers. And I had mentioned to them, like, y'all lived a long life. If y'all have free time to come out here and hike these trails and walk the trails together, have y'all ever thought about sharing this knowledge and information that you have stored within you with the youth? You know what I mean? Like, if you live that long in this realm, you are gonna have some kind of knowledge and information that you could share to help the next people coming up in line to put themselves in a better position, or to help them transition the next group of people in a better position. And it's like, the sleep and the sheep are solely focused on self, self. That's why I had tried to get away from all the self-help gurus and all this, me first, I gotta, me. We was already brought up focused on I and me and no we. That was our whole upbringing. So it's like, once you really walk this way of life, you understand it's not about I and me, it's about we. It's about unifying. It's about coming together. It's not about this division that's taking place right now. You know what I mean? And for a lot of the sleep and the sheep, they may be prospering right now and playing in the little band and dancing while the ship is sinking, while we're out here finding life boats, life vests, jackets, all of these things, so that way once the ship does go down, we have an extended period of time in which we can live. These people are just here for the right now. The right now. So don't go out putting yourself in a hole because you see other people who are sheep that don't process the same way you process, that don't believe in the creator, God, source, Allah, the way you do. Don't put yourself in these holes, in these ruts, trying to follow or keep up with these beings. They got enough karmic energy headed their way. Not saying that we don't have karmic energy coming our way as well too, You going to get back, everything's on a percentage scale. You don't always get back the energy you put out. I know we all like to use this, you get back the energy you put out. If we got back the energy we put out, we wouldn't be in this fucked up ass position. So don't come to me talking about, you just gotta believe, and you just keep putting out great energy comes back. The fuck out of here. I'm down here in the field for real. You know what I mean? It's on a percentage scale. If I'm putting out the best energy I can 100% of the time, 90% of the time, that means yes, there's a 60 to 70% chance I will get back the energy that I'm putting out. But there's also that 30, 40, 50% chance that I'm gonna get energy back that I did not put out. Everything is on a percentage scale, you know. Some of these gurus and some of these quotes and comments sound good. That's why you see a lot of the sleep and the sheep use these quotes and comments. I try to stay away from them. Anytime I hear some kind of generic quote or statement, I have to reanalyze it, because it's not supposed to be for everybody. Because everybody ain't working on their connection with source. Everybody isn't trying to eat better, do better. I know a lot of these things is kind of tough to do, considering that the value of the dollar has gone to shit and everything costs 2 arms, a leg, and a thigh. You know what I mean? So you basically are amputee walking around out here, or hopping or rolling around out here trying to figure out how to get by. It's the process right now. It's just the process right now. I know everybody want to be in a position of keeping your faith high, which you should do. You constantly have your communications and talks with Creator and Source. You know, you work on your fasting to cleanse your body. You know, you try to... We use exercise as a thing now because we don't do as much physical work anymore. You know, so you try to get out and exercise and keep your body mobile as much as you can. You're extra mindful of what you're putting in your body. You're extra mindful of how you feed yourself through these 2 eyes. You're mindful of how you feed yourself through these 2 ears, you know? It's just part of the process right now, you know? And it does suck when you come from one way of life and you knew that the mistakes you were making was putting you in the position you in. But now that you are doing things completely different, you're realizing that, oh, I still am receiving the same outcome as when I was putting myself in these positions. Everything is not your fault and everything is not on you. I don't give a damn how accountable you want to be. It doesn't matter how, oh yeah, well, you know, what's the same common denominator, it's you, so that means you're the problem. That's one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard in my life. Like, you trying to say if I went to a bunch of different houses and the roaches kept coming to me, that means that I'm the problem with the roaches? No, it shouldn't be roaches in every house that I go to. It's really that simple. But if you use the common denominator analogy, then it's going to be, oh, well, I guess the roaches are drawn to me and they're coming to you because you're in their proximity. It's very simple, you know. But I ain't want to run it up too long, you know. Just don't try to keep up with the sleep and the sheep. Don't allow that to beat you and to tear you too much to think that other people are out here prospering, that's moving in this kind of light that we move in. You can prosper in that kind of light if you want to do the things that they are doing. If you want to shut the fuck up and be a sheep, or if you want to be on demon time and see how many people you can extort, step on, stomp on, and abuse in the process, which is not us over here, you know what I mean? But I ain't gonna run up too long. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.